Hello and welcome back to the GXD-M YouTube channel. Now this video is being recorded straight after we've just finished editing episode 1, and then tomorrow we're going to be filming episode 3. Now I am sorry that I coughed them. I just want to clear that up. I don't normally do stuff like that, and normally I restart the clip or restart the voiceover, which this is being voiced whilst playing the game, as you can see. So yeah, just want to apologise for that. And I will apologise now for the last episode where I coughed at the end. I've literally just finished eating my tea before carrying on with these videos. But as I was saying, round 2, we are here. We are going to Japan. China. See, that's staying in because it'll take me ages to get back to where I am now. So yeah, we're going to China. What the free practice one, sprint quali, then the sprint race, and then we've got qualifying and a race to do all in this episode. Now, very quickly as well, I just want to add, I did say last episode we're up in the AI. They are now on 86. So we'll see how this goes today. But let's jump straight into this.
They told you about the new parts that have come in from the factory, right? Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
So here we are then. It is wet on track, so we're going to go out and do quali pace. We'll do track analysis and then race strategy to finish us off. So let's get straight into this.
Hey mate, go well out there. Just a reminder to use hot lap mode rather than boost mode. Hot lap should be quicker over the whole lap. Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
Not the best lap. It started off a bit shocking, but Bailey and Hulkenberg, first and second, for the time being though. But yeah, let's head straight in to our next task. Right, so here we have it, track analysis. Still on intermediates as the track's still wet, but let's give this a go. And there we have it, a purple score in track analysis. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into the pits. I'm going to leave it for a bit just to see if the track dries enough for us to be able to go on a softer compound other than intermediate. So then this is for our race strategy. Let's get straight into it.
Five minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain.
So there we have it. That is that done. We've got purple score on that, which is all we needed. And we did it with just 1 minute 20 left. So we're going to head back to the pits, head into the quali, and we'll just see what happens. Because as I said, the AI have been raised, so we'll see what happens.
Pole for the sprint to come.
So here we are then, sprint race, I was supposed to say sprint quali. I've just downloaded a setup because I forgot to do it beforehand. So let's load that up, let's head out on track whilst it's dry, and let's set some flying laps.
We've been pushed down to P21.
And there we have it, first lap out on track, P1. Now we don't have P1 100%, but we've got P1 for now, and that's all that matters. Obviously, like I said, the AI have now been upped. You've seen at the beginning of the video that we upped the AI, and if you listen carefully, you can hear the turbos. That's something I didn't hear earlier. But yeah, enough of that. We're going to head in now, and we're going to see how the sprint quali plays out. So there we have it. Sprint quali is over. We luckily did a one-lap wonder. I managed to do a 133.728. Now Oscar Piastri is starting in second, George Russell in third, Kimi Antonelli fourth, and the first of the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc in fifth. Lewis Hamilton not getting the best of starts like he did here in real life, but let's jump into the sprint.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. And this will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Freeman lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Antonelli, Charles Leclerc and Sainz, Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen and Alex Albon, Ocon, Hadjar Pierre Gasly and Perez, Lindblad, Alonso, Liam Lawson and Nico Hulkenberg, Behrman, Bottas, Stroll and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man,
Nico
the myth,
Hulkenberg,
the legend.
he's done better this time round. 3 positions more than last time, but as you can see by the track, it is very wet. So let's jump straight into it and see what we can do. Now, I'm not sure what's happened to the footage, but the formation and the lights out the way we go did disappear. But as you can see, it's a wet race. Now, the sprint race didn't exactly go to plan. Obviously, you're going to see in just a moment, and there will be a reason why it didn't go to plan in just a moment, but the conditions were very horrible.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
So, as you can see, we come out of that corner and Piastri goes for the overtake. Now, in slow motion, he goes to the right, so we try just defending a little bit, keeping him over there. And at this point, you can see he started turning towards us. Now, if we jump back into him, from my point of view, it didn't look like we were squeezing him that much, but it just so happened that he was right over by the grass and had to stay just towards us. At this point, he's tapped us, and there's nowhere for me to go. Like, literally, he's tapped, I'm already sliding. We get onto the brakes a little bit, and we just try to catch it. We then grip up onto the grass, and by that point, it was too late. Piastri ended up with front wing damage, and as you can see, we tried to react to the car sliding, and we just couldn't get it stopped. So, that's sprint over within the first 2 laps. It's a shame it had to end that way, but things happen in racing, and today just wasn't Audi's day at the sprint in China. There we have it then. We end up getting a DNF. Charles Leclerc takes first, Lando takes second, George takes first, Kimi Antonelli takes fourth, Hamilton does well in this race and gets up to fifth, Oscar manages to carry on in this race and finishes sixth, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz gets seventh, and the last of the points go to Max Verstappen. Now, my teammate ended up finishing in P15, which meant he had gained 3 positions throughout this whole race, but as I said, with us, we end up DNFing. Now, with the standings at the moment, we are tied with Lando Norris for first in the second round, and with constructors, Audi are up there. Quite shocked. We're in third, but we're up there, and that's all that matters for this season. But let's jump straight in to qualifying for the race.
Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
So here we are then. The car's been repaired since the sprint race, and we're going to jump straight into qualifying. We're going to load straight up into the tune we had for the sprint qualifying and the sprint race, and just absolutely try to dominate this quali to hopefully get a good position for the race. So as you've seen just then, the sprint race did not go to plan. Now that is a fault of mine. I did feel like I left him a bit of room, but as you've seen in the replay, he didn't have enough room at all. And then when the car finally gripped up on the grass and we came back onto the track, it then gripped up for a second time on the track, and by the time I started to turn the other way, we was in the barrier. But there's the quali lap. We've got a good few quali laps coming up, so I'm going to leave you with just the laps. And that is provisional pole for us as it sits right now. So let's jump back to the pits, fast forward a little bit, and see if we manage to do a one-shot wonder once again. There we have it. We only just managed to stay top three. Not too shabby. It could have been better, but where did our teammate finish? He finished last. So maybe something not going perfectly right for Nico Hulkenberg, but everything going perfectly right for us up in P3. But let's get into this race.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Freeman, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Hamilton, Sainz, Albon, Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar, Antonelli, Alonso, Pierre Gasly and Lindblad, Bottas, Perez, Ollie Behrman and Liam Lawson, Ocon, Colapinto, Stroll and Nico Hulkenberg rounds off the grid.
Okay,
So there we are
I
then.
know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Hulkenberg obviously starting last isn't the greatest, but we go forward. We're going to stick with the tyre strategy that they're offering us, which is a medium to soft. I feel like the soft will be a great tyre to finish on, and possibly the great tyre to set a fast lap at the end of the race. But let's head into formation. Right, so here we are, lights out for the Chinese Grand Prix. Now we get a really okayish start, not the best, but we are still learning the launch in these cars, and we do manage to just get up the outside of Russell. We are going to try for the overtake, and yeah, a bit of a collision. The game's suggesting a collision. To me, it's wheel banging, it's going to happen, but we end up getting Russell coming out of turn 2. Now it's to chase to get Oscar Piastri.
Okay, so overtake mode active. We'll get some extra power from the hybrid system now. Use boost on the next long straight to get past. Okay, overtake enabled, overtake enabled.
Now you can see the difference between the power that the Audi has and the power that the McLaren has. I feel like if it was in equal cars, or if it was in the Ferrari or the Mercedes, we probably could have done the switchback that I tried in the corner just gone. But we're in the Audi. I wanted to make our first season in F1 with the 26 cars a bit challenging. So we chose the Audi, so we don't exactly have the car to be battling top 10, top 5 really, but we're managing to do it so far. And yeah, like you can see the difference, the straight line speed coming down the straight. If it weren't for us having the overtake mode as well as boost and straight line mode, then I don't think we would have got this overtake done on Oscar Piastri coming in to the last couple of corners. Now we do try for the switchback yet again. We're up alongside and we just managed to stay around the outside to continue the race and to be able to take the lead. We also ended up getting overtake mode, but now we're going to jump forward pretty much to the end of the lap that we just started, as now Russell is behind us and he is going to have overtake mode, and he's going to have the advantage of speed coming down this straight. Now Russell, Piastri and I think Leclerc at the end of this race are going to be our main competitors with trying to fight for first. Now Russell trying to keep the inside. We just managed to keep the outside line, but we do run a bit wide, and we start lap 5 where even more battling will happen.
Tyre condition still looking good.
And here we are yet again on the very long straight, the back straight at China, and Russell just having the better battery with overtake mode and manages to get the move done on our inside through this turn. We're going to look for a switchback and we're going to try to see if we get the switchback to work. Sadly it doesn't. We tried for the outside like we did on Piastri, just getting squeezed a bit wide, and we managed just to keep the lead going in to lap 6. So jumping from lap 6 straight to the end of lap 7, Russell is behind us yet again. He has his overtake mode and we're coming down the start finish straight. He's alongside nearly. We come into this corner and we just brake a little too late. We miss our braking point and we do end up running quite wide throughout this whole corner. Now we do manage to keep hold of first position, which is great, but Russell's behind us. He's about 4 to 5 tenths behind us, and he has that overtake mode that we currently do not have.
Okay, mate, Russell behind. We want to keep them behind, please. This is super critical for our strategy. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 22.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. They're in 19th place. Time last lap, 1 minute 40.7.
Now, yet again, jumping from lap 8 to the end of lap 9. You're going to see in just a moment, Russell, I think Leclerc and Piastri all pit behind us. So at this point, we're pushing as hard as we can to get round to the pits. Coming in, end of lap 10 to pit. We've got quite a decent gap to the car behind. Hamilton stays out, I want to say. Obviously, this was recorded a few days ago. He doesn't. So Max Verstappen stays out on track, and everyone else behind us, other than Max, pits. But with us staying out that extra lap, we managed to get out of the pits in just a moment, just ahead of Russell, as we fight through the pack to try and get past all the cars on the older tyres.
You're running low on ERS. Reminder that you can play around with ERS modes in the MFD or lift sometimes and ease onto the brake pedal for some manual recharge.
Now, jumping from lap 12 to lap 16, we had the decent gap, but because of us being on the soft tyre and the guys behind being on the harder compound tyre, the tyres are struggling at this point in the race, and we just had to try and keep hold of the position we was in. Leclerc caught up to us first, and he was absolutely going for the overtake. We're fighting in pretty much every corner we could fight in, and defending on every straight we had to defend on, just to try and keep hold of this first position for Audi.
Okay, mate, boost mode if you need it. Boost mode if you need it. Gap to your teammate behind, 32.4 seconds. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap.
And here we are for the final time, coming down the back straight. Leclerc is just too far ahead. He had the overtake mode. We do not have overtake mode, and we're going to just try and keep hold of second position. So, yeah, we tried everything we could this race. The rain did just start to fall at the end of it, but there wasn't much we could do. And there we have it.
Yes,
Second place. So we DNF'd in the sprint race, and we finished second in the Grand Prix. So not a bad start really to our career. So P1 in Australia, P2 in China. Japan's up next. But I've been GXD. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, be sure to show me some love. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to ding dong that notification bell so you know when I next go live, post a video or post a short. But as I've said, I've been GXD and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.